It says it's streaming, so I'll take that as a good thing. I did update my information. Okay, we're just waiting for Ladonia to show up, and then we got some questing to do. Oh boy, look at that little knot of quests there. I hope you guys have had an awesome Sunday today. We just got out of helping a couple guildies and other friends get some burbs and doggos for their mount collections. Those were kind of fun fights. We'll be working on Lakshmi for a while because she is being stingy. But Sky got a whole mess of new mounts, and Talon got a mount, so it was all good. Yes, and it's a pretty doggo. Hello, Baron! Just waiting for Ladonia to log in, and then we'll get this adventure rolling.
Finishing off the wine.
I can see that, you wino.
Now, actually,
what's my
at? Okay,
34.
This is my lowest. Black Mage is almost 35. And Warrior is already there for me. Okay, is there a Moogle in this zone?
Yes, there is. There's one just on the other side of the Aetherite here. Because this is actually a major Aetherite.
Yes.
Pretty major.
Yes, it is. There's our delivery Moogle. What do you have for me? 2 new letters.
Does the lazy fluffy butt have mail for you? Yes, yes?
Mm-hmm. Aetherite pendulum.
Oh, that's actually a very handy item.
I don't know this one.
You can, it's a one-use item. You use it and you can do it forever. If you have a friend or a party member who is under the level of, like, I think 30, i.e. a sprout, it will you can use that and then click on their name and then teleport to the closest Aetherite to them. For free. It's a way to encourage mentorship.
Yeah, friendship circlet, which is XP bonus at 25 and below. Oh, well, I need to remember that. And the real reason I'm checking my mail. The Draught Chocobo Whistle.
Aye, Lucy!
A small hand-carved whistle that emits a unique... Hey, no drifting. Unique high-pitched tone discernible only by a Draught Chocobo trained from birth to recognize and respond to the sound. Used to summon your personal Draught Chocobo. Guide. That gets a favorite. And a tutorial.
On how to use multiple mounts?
Right, Pillion, yeah. No, how to use a multi-person mount. This heretofore unseen breed of chocobo was said to have been discovered by chocobo hunters searching for the legendary chocobo forest. Its enormous size would make it a fine pack chocobo, but its foul temper prevents it from completing even the simplest of tasks without injury of some poor rider.
And yet, we're supposed to ride double.
Yes.
To the church
Say
of
hello.
Saint Ladama Dama.
Say hello to Lucy.
Hello, Lucy. It's nice to meet you. Hi, Ripley. Great to see you here. Yeah,
So,
we are just starting
all
our
of these are
adventures.
35s, which is going to be a small problem.
Oh yeah, I'm 34. Ooh.
Yeah, we were. That's kind of where we were last week. Now that I remember it, is trying to figure out what we want to do to jump level up.
Well, I have an idea. Maybe grab Talon and do a roulette, a leveling roulette.
As long as it's not Susanoo.
I don't think we're qualified for Susanoo. Sorry.
I really hope we're not qualified for Susanoo.
I'm up for it.
Okay, let me. Nope, we want the link shell. That'll have ya. And we got tank and heals covered, so go whatever class you feel like. That isn't tank or heals.
Oh. Machinist.
Oh, machinist is fun. Drill your way into heaven.
Yes. Though not at the level that any dungeon will be doing is at.
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
And hopefully we get a good DPS person to join us.
Wheel of leveling, turn. Tell us the dungeon we should learn.
Ooh, Halatali. Since there's 3 of us here and it's me, I'm just going to go for all the chests.
Yes.
Oh, we have a baby bard.
He might need the chests.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actual archer. Actually level 23. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he might need the chest, so...
And now, once again, to try and get used to healing without shields.
Yeah, you're so used to playing Scholar. Okay, over here! Jump over the wall!
Oh.
And there's a chest behind me.
I got it. Thank you. Oh, right.
Okay, pulling him to the next group.
Oh, there's a good reason to keep Cure 1 on your bar. Cure 2 doesn't work.
Yeah. Cure 1 does have its uses.
Yes, it does.
So, I know a lot of people are like, you should remove Cure it from your bar entirely. I'm like, no.
It has its place.
You just have to understand what it's doing.
Not overhealing.
Well, the problem is it's a very small heal, but it's more mana conservative.
Yep.
Where the big heal takes forever to go off, does like 2/3 of someone's health, but like eats the mana like you wouldn't believe.
It's only 1,000 a pop.
So it really depends on the situation. Ooh, I'm taking it.
You're fine.
And there's my level.
She's alright.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through level.
Pulling him up to the next group. Watch out for explosions. I should be in your line of sight. If I'm not, tell me.
Now I'm up high enough that you are.
Nice. Mr. Bard?
Oh, there's an expensive item that you just got, Talon.
Really?
The doctor's bill.
Yeah.
Someone want to get the ads that are coming in?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, you got that set.
Set behind you, Ladonia.
There. Come on.
And new doors opened. Slightly to the front left of you. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I mean, it's not too bad, but it can really strain the healer if you let to get them to the
Yes.
main fire. And no one's coming in from the bottom. But this guy's at 11%.
Stop it off.
Oh. This set.
Yeah. We got it.
Yep.
Zoom into the aether. Someone will go ahead and pop that chain after I got these guys on hold.
Yeah, I got it. Give me the things in front of me and not the
just
stuff on the
ignore
other
it.
side of the wall.
There we go. And same with this chain.
Another gas bomb.
Why do I not have that on my bar? Oh dear, I'll need to fix that after the run. Remind me, I need to fix something on my AoE bar.
Ah. Well, if it's the AoE bar, there's about 3 different buttons it could be. We're a little low level for at least one of them.
And there is a chest down the little side path if someone wants to get that.
I'm not 100% sure where it is.
This path here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. You're gonna be okay, right?
I hope so. I'm kind of taking it.
Defenses? Defenses? Yeah, you're not taking much damage, and I just see your health slowly go down. I'm going, maybe not.
Yeah, my defense was on cooldown. I have 1 at this level.
Oh, that's
Rampart?
right.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
Survey says... Treasure chest!
Cover.
A fork.
Use the fork.
And guess what?
Ooh, someone leveled.
Our guest did. He is now synced to 23 instead of actually being 23. Good show.
That's my chat.
I'm getting close to level. About the end of the MP bar.
Come on. Come play with the man, you silly lizard, you.
Oh dear.
Hmm?
I see a disconnect on Tay.
Yeah,
Oh, no!
I was afraid of that. Exact same place as last time, too.
Yeah.
I hope you're not having Hydra trouble. Well, Windows has done something recently with their recent patch that Ladonia and I, we've actually gotten occasional DX errors when we have not seen those in like years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've had 2, and Rena has had 1.
Yeah.
Mine were about a day apart, and yours was like a week afterwards.
Yeah, and it was like I was healing a group in Puppet's bunker, and I died just before the boss fell over. But apparently, I was holding most of the heals while the other healer was running off and DPSing, and suddenly the other healer was like, "Where'd the heals go?"
Yeah.
I'm going for the trap chest.
I'm going for keeping you alive.
All I can say, I was very happy my Hat of Healing did not drop that chest.
Oh yeah.
Because I had been trying to farm that for like 2 weeks, and if it had dropped while I had been forced out and couldn't roll on it, I would have been so mad. Okay,
This will level me.
nice.
And then Black Mage needs leveling, but that's like a fate.
Yeah, I'd have to look at what Nin is. Okay, looks like we're ready. Ignore the ads, go for the flame sprites in the back.
Gotcha.
flame sprites are up. Get down as fast as possible, because the faster you get those down, the less ads we deal with. That's one sprite down. 2 sprites.
3 sprite, red sprite.
Oh. I'm taking you back to the middle, big guy. Come on, come on, come on. And there's the flame sprites again. Yeah, we so got this guy.
Yeah.
Ow! He punched me! And it
Yes.
hurt!
Yeah.
That's not fair! It like did knockback.
What a horror.
I know.
Ding.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Yes, Foxfire.
Yeah, Picard never punched me.
That was a good scene.
And our Hothakar is probably going to wonder why he suddenly gets 3 comms. Except he failed. Oh.
You got one. You got one.
You got it. You got at least one.
I'm lagging.
No worries, no worries.
And that is much of the way through the next level.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through all of that at some point.
I jumped
soonish.
2 levels.
Oh, nice.
I made about 1 1/4 levels.
I jumped 2 levels.
All right, let's back to the background for me.
Yeah,
No
let's
worries.
go do a fate.
Yeah, thanks for coming along.
Mm-hmm. So where's
Fate-ho.
the nearest fate?
Out in the middle of Drybone.
Yep.
The heat of Sangoli, which is south of here.
Yes.
We're not even in the Angoli Desert. Come on, people. Oh yeah, we can go this way. I was like, isn't there a gap there?
Nope. Oh, right, that one. And that's all DPS. Oh, I don't have that.
So I should probably eat some food.
Yeah, that would have been intelligent.
I think they like
I
me.
think you have attention. Now, don't look to me to heal you.
Oh,
You're
by the
on your
way.
own.
Come here,
Yes.
peeps.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Okay, ads are all down. You can do it, peeps. Harvey says. Barely moved my bar. Oh boy. We might
need an anthill.
Oh! Attack of High Bridge. Act 1 just came up.
Okay, let's see if we can
That's
actually
level
get
26, so that's more in our level range.
Yeah. Think we can actually two-man our way through all 3 acts, though?
Two-man's gonna be tough.
Yeah. You can't solo Act 3. Two-manning is possible, but just barely.
Did they just all... Yeah, we're not doing this one. It died! Just as we got here. So I guess we're gonna...
denied the orchestration roll.
Yes, you were denied the orchestration roll. But we can do this one. Remember, we only want the Lancers.
That's what you say. No? Okay. Come on.
You're a Lancer. You'll do.
Can't cast fast enough.
You can do it. Of course, the fact that there's others mixed in here does not help. Here, take a shuriken. Oh, someone else has joined in. Oh, wait, I think that's Oh, Graps! Is that you, Tay?
Yes it is. I recognize the initials.
Yeah, we totally got this one. Yeah. Well, if you could do all 3 acts properly from start to finish, you get a specialty vendor with an orchestration roll.
It's not a specialty vendor. He's there all the time, other than maybe after a failed phase. It's just he suddenly has more items for sale.
Ah.
And I don't know how many new items he gets, but one of them is an orchestration roll. And he's the only one who sells them.
More. And I'm stuck in combat. Ooh.
Yeah, so am I.
Well, we can do the brass blades, which is technically the end of the one.
Yeah, it's the kind of
And
recovery
if you
from the bad
stage
end.
him properly, you can solo it, but it's tricky. So follow close. And I'm actually not going to level sync. That way I can go squirm all the way my way to the boss and set up before level syncing.
That's the main way you solo this.
Okay, big guy. Come here. Up on the rocks.
Boss on the rocks.
And here comes the brass blade, pulling half the encampment with them. Thanks, guys. Love you too.
Anytime.
Trying to clear out some of the riprap here.
Yep.
like this little peep on the bar to go.
Yeah, that's where I was before the previous one.
Was in a little bit of gully there. Oopsies. Go flaming shuriken!
You got it.
Nice. And there's the ding. Thank you so much, guys. Would you just leave her alone? Silly Quiggin.
He wasn't happy with that last lightning bolt.
Or that one either.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
That's something I need to do.
Time to get back onto the question. Thank you very much for the help, Tay.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's see. Where's my comparative levels? So that's most of the way through, that's a little way through, and this is just beginning.
The fact that I went 2 levels on Paladin just... that makes me giggle. I was totally not expecting that.
Well, I still stand... Well, first of all, I was happy about getting 2 levels of alchemy on the turn-in earlier today. I still stand by my other bet. I finally... my main finally took Culinarian as the last crafting class. So I went to the Grand Company, see what they wanted for their daily turn-in, which is a great way of leveling those things. I'm not sure what I think about the fact that they wanted me to boil an egg. Or the fact that they were desperate for it.
Yeah, the fact that I can boil an egg and you guys all know my culinary expertise in real life. At least we haven't had to call the fire department on my cooking experimentations yet.
Yeah. Keep it that way.
Yeah, this is why Baron
upstairs,
cooks.
Upstairs.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, well, we can get from there. Yeah. We can get to there from there. But we're here. So, yeah.
I think your hair is mussed up again. It's interfering with your thinking.
I can think?
Maybe.
Okay.
Side quests, ho?
Side quest ho. Hello, Frederick.
Mr. Slipshod and Ms. Uptight. Frendrek is a breath of fresh air in this house of tears and melancholy. Very angry air. She needs you to find someone, and quick.
Where is that turnip head? We've already waited some hours for my cousin, and he still dallies falls knows where. He is ever late. I do not understand why he cannot simply depart early. Still, I confess I am fond of the fool. I would go look for him, but his route winds close to Halatali training grounds, and they say 'tis a romp of beasts there. Beasts that of the most dangerous kind. Yeah, I know. We were just there.
Mm-hmm.
You are an adventurer, and surely this is the sort of thing that, I don't know, makes your blood sing, heart boil, or some such trifle. Will you look for my feckless cousin?
Yes, the breath of very angry air. Did out of whole cloth. Didiju needs your help to mend a humble linen vestment. I'm not a tailor, sorry.
Psst. Your wonder-working adventurer. You can do some work for me today. See, the father asked me to mend this vestment, but look, at both the weft and the weave's gone there and there. I'll need more cloth than I have. There's a merchant in Blackbrush Station right now. He'll give you what I need. Hurry off to Central Thanalan, you go? Great, I'm an errand
Out
runner.
of zone.
Hello, Octi!
Hey, Octi! Barin. The Voyage of the Gubu. Rousing himself from a considerable gloom, Barin seems thankful for your presence. The sun has shone on a terrible sight today. One of the bereaved wished to place upon the grave of his beloved a sprig of Althic lavender. He strayed far, for the flower is sparse in these parts, and was grievously wounded by fiends. Grief makes us all slow in wits and limb. I fear that these attacks will not cease until the creatures are gone. I pray you, banish the foul things. They were last seen to the east, near the remains of a gobu.
Wow, they're running us all over.
Mm-hmm.
And one with Father Illud.
Plagued by indecision. The ache you carry cannot have escaped Father Illud's sharp eyes, yet he makes no note of it. Death begets death, especially in those places where privation is the sovereign. A corse left unburied is as rich field to Vilekin, where they may sow pestilence and water it with their miasma. Nowhere is the rule of privation so apparent as in Lost Hope. A man may die upon the roadside there and go unclaimed, for no ties bind these unhappy folk together except a common misfortune. Their homelands are no more. But as long as they live, some hope remains, and so we must thwart pestilence ere it begins. Will you deliver this repellent to that den of sorrow?
And that's over in Central.
So, a couple of things going to Central. Hi, Eorzea.
Work!
You feeling a bit overheated?
Work!
Yep.
We'll go back to Central and then make the circuit coming back.
Yeah.
So hopefully your day's been going okay, Octi. So far, what you sort of missed, but not really, was we did a quickie run through Halatali to try and get our characters leveled up enough that they could do all the side quests.
Mm-hmm.
And Talon was kind enough to come along for that, and then we did a couple fates to top off the last little bits we needed. And that ended up going really well.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Out of the stifling heat.
Yes.
It's still kind of hot, but nothing compared to the dry bone. Which is either dry or it's not. Yeah, I think I've been kind of poking at this 3D. It's actually a 2D program, but it's designed to be a 2D interface to function inside of a 3D program. And I showed Baron the model I've been poking at last night, for the past couple of weeks to him, and he's like, "Oh, actually, that's looking pretty good."
Shopkeep.
What was that, dear? Yeah, 20 years ago it would have been science fiction. Now people use it for giggling schoolgirls and vlogs.
Yep. Came from Didiju, did she? I was wondering where she'd gone to. Stopped by her shop the other day. Was going to offer her a cup of tea. She missed a nice one, an amber tip from Corthus. Her usual, I'm assuming? The tattered linen? Yes, madam. Now, don't you go misapprehending. It's nice and soft, so she can pulls out the threads and reweaves what she's mending. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm a halfway decent seamstress. Remending is like a little beyond my skill grade. I've seen people do it. It's amazing. I don't have the patience for that. One of the vloggers that I've been watching recently that I absolutely, utterly adore is a lady by the name of Bernadette Banners. She specializes in doing historic sewing and clothing and is absolutely, utterly hilarious in her straight-faced snark.
I've seen a little of this. It's true.
And the recent one she did was for making 16th century tie-on pockets for women's dresses and skirts and stuff. Except that because it was the time of the age of the time, she had this beautiful embroidery on it that was all flowers and lace, and a burning dumpster fire with the year 2020 elegantly embroidered across the top. Yeah, it's been one of those years. Even if you're not interested in sewing, her filmography is so beautiful. It's this wonderful ASR you can have in the background and just watch it unfold, and it's wonderful. I really recommend giving her a shot. Zazawaka.
What business do you have here, stranger? Oh, you come from the Church of Saint Adama La Dama?
Yep, we
Biotin
have.
repellent. When lit, this incense releases a citrus-like aroma that most vile can abhor. Ah, the Vilcan repellent. Good father told me last moon of this plan. He is a man that keeps his word, and 'twas kind of him to have you deliver it. Now, did he tell you where and how these are to be used? I fear I have little knowledge of alchemy.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you can see on your minimap, but I show this nice blue and gold bang on mine.
Marvelously mutable materia.
Yes.
Yeah, it's time for Mutamix.
Destination. Balkan repellent. But yeah, go check out Bernadette Banners. One of her most striking videos is her. Oh yes, the drug factory in the background. Not lovely. At one point, she did this beautiful medieval dress. I forget the time period. Kind of early medieval. And she did a beautiful Photoshop for it, and a Chinese knockoff company scraped the photo, edited her face out, and then put it online that you can buy this dress for like $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And a bunch of her viewers found out and showed it to her, and she's like, no, I have to order this dress. I want to see this abomination. And she did an entire video series of ordering it, the adventures just trying to get it, her finally getting it, and then her slowly tearing the thing apart thread by thread on what is wrong with it. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you, stranger. This place may seem wretched to you, and none here would deny it. But last year it had the look of a charnel house, so fiercely did the pestilence rage. Tell Father Illud we owe him a debt of life. I confess, though, I wonder if we were saved from the plague only to perish in war. We have little love for Gurlemald here, and news of them who burned our homes travels fast. What chance does lost hope have against a force that plucked Alamigo like a ripe peach? Fight or flee, we must make plans. Yet few have ears to listen to me. They have too much to fear already, too many demons to slay every hour.
Yeah, we don't get it because it's part of the chain for doing Old Daw as a city-state. But back in here, yeah, this is actually one of the major drugs in the area that they've been growing
right.
to try and feed themselves. And you actually have to deal with that entire chain. It's actually smartly handled, but yeah. I think we need to go visit Mutabig's bubbly pots. I just have this feeling in my ears, you know?
That must be a heck of a feeling with those ears.
Yeah, I know. It's all itchy. I don't like it.
You're going to make me do Mutamix, aren't you?
Yes, you get to do Mutamix. Actually, I think we talked to one of his secondaries. You don't actually have to talk
That's not necessarily any better.
To Mutamix himself. Hello, Ace. Welcome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Kukusamu.
Oh, we've been sitting
mutable materia.
We've been sitting on this one for a while.
A little bit. Kokusamu would share news of his master's latest advance in the arcane art of materia manipulation.
Okay, let's hear this. Hopefully not in Gabi speak.
Hopefully. Riddle me this, friend. Have you ever found yourself in the unfortunate situation where your pockets were near to bursting with all manner of materia save for the sorts you wanted the most? Well, I have, and I tell you, it felt like I'd brought a sack full of fishing poles to a gold mine. Now, I ask ye, what if there were a way to melt down a couple of pieces of materia that weren't availing you not, and mold them into a shiny new piece that, I mean, just might strike your fancy? That most handy procedure is something we like to call shifty making. Rather, that's what Master Mutamix calls it. Myself, I've coined the term transmutation, which I'm hoping might find favor with adventurers like yourself. How's it all work, you ask? I could tell ye, but why ask the student when ye can learn from the master? You'll find Mutamix right over there, likely jumping out of his boots looking to trade tongue flaps about his discovery.
You get to do Mutamix!
Yeah, I know.
I love his little workshop. It's so Miyazaki. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah.
And this is the only time in game you ever see it. Hello, Mutamix.
Uplander seeks knowings of shifty making, yes? Then Uplander should make open ears to tongue flaps of Mutamix. Process of shifty making is of big help use. First be taking 5 need not materia, yes? Melty mix this one, mixy melt that one, squeeze and squash, then big eyes! 5 need not are reborn as 1 shiny new. Shifty making is not simple like crafty making. Knowings of shifty making are much and many, and Uplander's brain case, though big for Uplander, is small. Uplander need not be making worry face. If Uplander has many need not materia, bring them to Tent Ring. Mutamix will shifty make for Uplander.
Okay, whatever you said.
Mutamix will perform materia transmutation for you at any time, free of charge. Bring the goblin 5 pieces of unwanted materia, and he will transmute them into a single new piece to use as you see fit. That said, materia transmutation remains an inexact science. For what manner of materia will emerge each time Mutamix works his wonders, not even the goblin genius himself can say.
Yay! It's random!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's time to bail.
But you don't want to do any shifty making?
No. Well, since they've kind of redone the materia, it's not as important, but I remember poor Thay having to spend hours sifting through unwanted materia, trying to get halfway decent stats and upgrades.
Mm-hmm. Well, back when they had all the types of materia they have now, and all the prime attribute materia, and the elemental materia.
Yeah, yeah. It was kind of crazy. And pockets were,
still...
and this was before they expanded the bag slots.
Yeah.
Oh, and things only stacked to 99.
Yeah.
Now things stack to 999.
There's still people on the auction house selling the prime attribute materia.
Yeah. I think.
And it looks like there's even still some of the elemental ones left on the auction house.
It's like, wow. And they're trying to ask really big. It's like, oh, this thing must be really rare. No.
Yeah, it's really rare.
It's useless. It's vendor bait. Cannot execute command while mounted.
Well, no good. Wow.
Oh, he likes me. I don't know if I like him very much.
They offer the doctor.
Okay, Mr. Slipshod Wayfarer, your sister asked us to find you.
Thank you, and thank you thrice. Saw those rather nasty brutes coming and thought, well, nothing much really beyond. Ah! They really should take old Hallis down. The place was absolutely gone to pot.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
we just cleared it out again!
Oh, look at the time. Mustn't keep the burial waiting too much longer. I suppose my cousin, Fondrek, she of the overtight corset, is none too pleased.
That's one way of putting it. Ride, Ursa, ride!
Don't wanna.
Way! Burning Wall's really pretty tonight. With the moon just creeping over the hill.
Yeah?
Here, Ursa, go ahead and get your feet wet. Way! And
Oh yeah,
wish.
this little pocket.
Yep, the little pocket with the little go-boo.
That's not little.
Well,
But it is dead.
it is a very dead go-boo. And here's our destination. Oh gosh, Mandragora!
Okay,
Billy,
done?
that's it. We
Yep.
came all the way out here just to kill Mandragora.
Yep.
Oh, I hope they pay us well.
What was the one humor side quest thing with the full set of Mandragoras?
I think that's part of Hildy's chain.
That sounds about right.
That's a very Hildy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to save Hildebrand chain for something special.
I figure we do them along with the appropriate patches.
But yeah, it did. Yeah, Hildebrand. Cold Silver. I can sense the twitch in Cold Silver's eye from here.
I'm going to have so much fun hamming it up.
Oh yeah, you actually do a pretty good Hildebrand.
Thank you.
Fundrick? Oh, thank you. He was absolutely incalculable, but to think we might have had to bury him as well. Then again, that's one burial he wouldn't have to be late for. There's a thought. Wow, leveling relatives.
Yeah.
Did you? Ah, there you are. Did you get what I need?
Tattered linen. In addition to being tattered, it is also frayed, torn, moth-eaten, lice-ridden, and stained with what appears to be blood. You get what you pay for.
Much appreciated, adventurer. Now, we'll see how nimble these fingers are. Father needs this right soon, he said, going out on some priestly business. 'Tis a piece of piss compared to the last order, though. Excuse the salty talk. 'Twas big as a house and burnt as a slanted supper. Father Illid brought it, but it looked to be for that lich keeper fellow. And of course, you know the lich keeper fellow she's talking about, right?
Yep.
That's Brother Mark's.
Mm-hmm. When the calamity struck, it sundered life everywhere, and not only among our races. Look around and you will see how things have fallen apart. Feet, claws, roots, all have been torn from the earth they were planted on. The dead Gobu was a child of Corythus. The calamity shattered its native mountains, and it fled before destruction as a caravan flies before a sandstorm. Years it wandered. We found it dying and received its memories. It had gathered seeds from every land it passed through, and they flower upon its corpse, a living map of its loss and exile. North to south, mountains to desert, cloudberry and shooting stars, merry bells and cliff roses. Alphic lavender from lower Thanalan, even roselles from Bloodshore. To wander is a dream and a nightmare. Adventurers such as yourself must know it better than I, but I imagine there are days when the flame of adventure gutters, and you feel yourself to be as bereft as those in lost hope, and upon us no flowers grow.
Ooh,
And on that note, another quest.
Yeah, the scent of cinnamon.
Meow.
Cinnamon.
Peeps. Peeps.
Fine. she just wanted to. Yeah.
Boredom, I know. Scent of cinnamon. There is an air of mystery about Brother Barin. He would bid you help him with a gift. So generous is Father Illid to so many. He feeds, clothes, and physics them tirelessly. Yet he has none to do for him what he does for others. I would show him my appreciation with a special gift, but sadly my meager purse is not enough. Will you speak to the other brothers and sisters and see whether they too feel as I do? I have made arrangements with Ermengarde, who runs a concern at Camp Drybone. If you are successful in raising the funds, will you deliver the guild to her?
I think we could do something like that. I say Lucy should do the writing. I think Urza's tired of the heat.
Uh-huh. Lud? Thank you, Ludonia. Sometimes for what ails us in thinking, we find relief in doing. Administration to exiles is one of the duties of the Church of Saint Andama. I pray that someday, with the grace of the gods, they may find again what they have lost.
Esmore?
Esmore? Be silent and take my gill. Pray forgive my outburst, good madam. It is only that I owe Father Illid my life, and an opportunity to give him something, no matter how small, sets my spirit afire.
Okay then.
Where's Zoru?
Down in the main camp of Drybone.
I guess so.
There we go.
Big burp.
Big burp. You go, Lucy. Yeah, the other one I found was a little video downstairs.
See, it must be.
Of Red Chocobo destroys everything.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good one. Short and sweet. Let's see if I can find the link really quick.
Nope.
For your perusing pleasure later. Because the Red Chocobo destroys everything.
Ah, there we go.
You know, it's kind of rude to bring Chocobos into... Oh, hi Peeps, hi Marshmallow.
You were saying. They just kind of invited themselves in.
They do that.
A gift for Father Illud? Of course. It does not take Thal to see the good in him. It warms my heart that Brother Barian would go to such trouble. Thank you both for your efforts. Okay.
And back to the,
No?
No? Oh, right. Up in here. Which is not connected.
Yeah. Separate establishment.
Yeah, don't mind the bows. Greetings, Rena, Padonia. Brother Baron says you might be coming by. A gift for Father Illud, he said. Yeah, we have a sack of gill.
And another sack of gill. Heavy leather pouch entrusted to you by law. You cannot begin to guess how much coin it might contain.
It must contain hundreds of coins.
Yeah, slightly different on both of them. Very good.
The good father must be a man of much beloved from the weight of these sacks. I have given this matter much thought. A consignment of high-quality spices just arrived this day. Mayhap cinnamon cookies would suit. I have received many a kind word from customers about my cookies, if I may say so. I have also observed the good father linger at my store whenever a fresh batch was to be smelt coming out of the oven. But only times he spends his skill on cookies and cakes, it was for the children of Lost Hope.
Aww.
That is such a him thing.
Okay, yep.
There we go. Away!
That's the wrong way.
No, you can go that way too. But you're here now.
I haven't navigated through this in a while.
I can tell.
And it's a little twisty.
Twisty, turny, turny, twisty. Oh yeah, that's right. Cut through the graveyard. See if they
weren't using
care.
it.
Oh, Illud, we have cookies for you. Can't you smell them?
Good evening to you, Ladonia, Rena. What brings you to this place? Cinnamon cookies. Crisp, buttery cookies dusted with a hint of fragrant cinnamon. I'm hungry now. What? How? Cinnamon cookies, by Thal. A gift, you say, from Brother Barian, Brother Ismar, and Sister Zuzuro. How kind they are. I could tell them there was no need, but our order teaches us to see a need despite the needy's disavowals. I shall thank them from my heart. I had a son, and through his happy marriage, a daughter. Well matched they were, and well met. Their house smelt of good things like this, and there was always an open peg for my cloak and a tall glass of mint tea. They died,
Aww.
Was Father Illid pleased? Oh, that is good. I believe it does his heart good to give word to his sorrows. That is what we tell the bereaved in the lich yards, that grief must both be shrieked and spoken. I had heard that Father Illid had suffered a great loss in the calamity, yet his hurt grows as large as a palace, and scores dwell there in the haven he makes of it. Would that someday I am half the man he is.
Ooh, 1,000 gil. He was rich. Actually, that
And
isn't
with
that rich, considering that gil is kind of based on the yen and not the dollar. Peeps, marshmallow. Oh, they've abandoned us.
I think they went in search of more cinnamon cookies.
Can you blame them?
Oh. Okay, back to main quest.
Okay, Marks.
You can't take it with you. Marks has a personal request to make of you. Weapon coffer. Excuse me, Ladonia. Do you have a moment? It concerns this broken horologe which was found in the pocket of a man brought here for burial. There is something familiar about it. Just what I cannot say. Perhaps if I tinker with this device, it will come to me. However, I lack proper tools to do so. I would ask that you journey to Camp Drybone in my stead to obtain a bull-point chisel and a pair of needle-nose pincers. They're often used by goldsmiths, so perhaps they would be the best people to ask. Of course, I do not expect you to foot the bill. Here, take this coin purse. That should cover it. We're getting lots of people's coin purses today.
If you had a coin for every coin purse someone gave to you that they expected you not to spend.
Yeah. Dr. Wolf.
Though Eorzea feels like she's trudging through mud here because we're at this base speed and it's like, too slow. Traveling Goldsmith. Yo, Mr. Traveling Goldsmith.
A bull-point chisel, you say, and a pair of needle-nose pincers. Those things don't come cheap, you know.
Weighty
coin purse. A small yet heavy leather sack containing, presumably, roughly the amount of gil needed to purchase the tools requested by Marks. Any surplus coin could be considered commission owed to whichever party in the transaction is bright enough to claim it as their own. Balls! I mean, yes, that should be sufficient payment. Nice doing business with you.
Yeah, I think he got the better
he's the one who was bright enough.
Yep. And actually, we'll go up this way so you can see the path through.
Yeah, I kind of know it. It's just it didn't.
Someone had a doggo! I heard that howl.
Yep. Purple doggo.
Yeah, I was just impressed that we got 2 different burps for Sky tonight.
Mm-hmm. And we got, what, 1 Dougie drop?
Yep. And Sky got it. No, Talon got it.
No, Tay got that one.
Yeah, Tay got the doggo.
So Tay and me so far have gotten that one. Or, no, Sky also got the, Susanoo.
Oh, that's right. I knew she got some sort of doggo. Marks?
Have you brought the tools I requested?
Yeah. I think I got gypped for them.
Bull-point chisel. Unlike carpenter's chisels, which have flat heads, the bull-point chisel has a pointed one and is used by expert goldsmiths to perforate soft metals. Needle nose pincers. This tool is often employed by goldsmiths or clockwork engineers to seize and manipulate minuscule pieces of wire. Something occurs to me. Please wait here for a moment. It was for naught, though I repaired the device easily. The sensation that stirs within me remains a mystery. But how did I do it? These hands, my hands, they moved with a mind of their own, deftly manipulating the clockwork mechanisms. There was no doubt or uncertainty. I knew exactly what to do, as though I had performed the same motions countless times before. Pardon me, Ladonia, Rena, this was a mistake. Please give the horologe to Sister Ilunid. The man who once owned it is currently in her care, and I think it best that it be returned to him.
So now we run outside to Sister Elud, who's dealing with burying bodies. Joyful! Hello, Elud.
Yeah. You want to check with Ilkum? I guess not.
No. Good evening to you, madams. Have you come to pay your respects to this man?
Not exactly, no. Repaired horologe. By some manner of clockwork wizardry, this strange contraption can precisely measure and follow the 24 bells in a single turn of the sun.
Never before have I seen such a queer device. You say that it measures the passing of time? Mayhaps they are more common in Garlemald. I'm given to understand that cities are filled with all manner of amazing technologies. Mark said that it belonged to the deceased? Oh dear. You don't suppose that the owner might have been a Garlean spy? It may behoove us to notify the authorities in Camp Drybone. But, mayhaps more importantly, how did Marks manage to repair this device? I knew he had talents for the trades, but this goes far beyond mending fences or thatching roofs.
Inventory is getting so overloaded. Bringing out the dead. Sister Ilunid is staring at you with great sadness in her eyes.
I recognize you now, Rena, Latonia. Allow me to express my deepest condolences for those you have lost in the lives of the attack. I apologize if discussing this upsets you, but you should know that the bodies of your comrades are presently being removed from the Waking Sands and prepared to transport here. If you wish to leave this work to others, I understand. However, taking part might help you find closure. And now we're back to the Waking Sands.
What, again?
So here's a question.
Final sweep. No further side quests in the area.
However, if we want to take a slight side bent, we can go unlock Sunken Temple for running next week. No,
Why
you're
don't
not
we
going.
do that?
We are not going into the stable, Eorzea. Stop that. Work.
Yes, poor guys. But yes, let us go unlock the dungeon. One thing, the next time we end up behind the experience curve, we'll have one more place to go.
This is very true. Right?
You can't do Halatali all the time.
I think someone counted right now, including all the Stormbreaker stuff, there's over like 120 something dungeons available.
Oh, good lord.
And you always see Halatali and Tamtari Deepcroft?
Yes.
Or 1,000 Maws? Mostly 1,000
Yes.
Maws.
Armvale.
Actually, Armvale not so much because it's actually a side dungeon. It in
I
Dental
see it
Darkhold.
too often. I see it too often.
Armvale's not that bad. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. Ah. Yeah, we were just discussing Armvale with friends earlier this evening, and how one person's like, "No, you can't make me go back there."
Don't blame them.
I'm like, it's not that bad. I just kind of smile and deal. But it is a real heal check dungeon. Heal check, and is the rest of the party paying attention to all the other mobs? Because if they aren't, good night, Lizzie. Here we go. Beepy moo. Welcome to the Sunken Temple of Karn, or what remains of it at least. Used by the ancient Baladians as a place of worship of the sun goddess, Azima, much about the temple's history remains shrouded in mystery.
You were mentioning that.
Yeah. Well, we have
Remember that name.
While we have sent a research team into the depths, I regret to say that all the investigating proceedings at a snail's pace, that is, when it proceeds at all. It would seem that the Baladians have rigged the temple with all manners of devious traps and snares to deter temple robbers, no doubt. We have recruited adventurers to assist disarming the traps, but be forewarned, many who have entered have yet to return. Should you wish to brave the depths, we would welcome your aid. Yeah, we'll do that later.
Yeah. Hey, Sunken Temple of Karn.
And back to the Waking Sands.
Which is actually a fairly interesting dungeon.
That everyone just skips the mechanics for.
Yeah.
And it's like, the mechanics is what makes the dungeon interesting.
Yes.
Nope, must go faster.
Meow.
Zoom. Unfortunately, Eorzea cannot fly here. As much as she would like to. Oh god, it's hilarious when I'm on Thayrin. I occasionally just start running around the AR zones and it's like, oh wait, I can fly here now.
Yes.
It's been what, 2-3 months and I'm still like, oh, I'll just hoof it the hard way across the zone. It's like, I could have flown.
Yes, indeed. You could have had a V8.
You have a good night's sleep, dear. Thank you very much for joining us.
Mm-hmm. Now, considering we are coming up on 11, you know, we've got like 10 minutes. Where exactly do we want to cut off tonight?
Ooh.
Certainly at least get to the Waking Sands.
Yeah, Waking Sands will have some minor quest stuff, but I don't know how long it would take.
Yeah, probably a little longer than we have is my thought.
Yeah, and I don't think that area is a rest zone.
Ooh, really?
No. I know the Waking Sands itself is not a rest zone. I just can't remember if Vesper Bay is one or not. I don't think it is because it does not have an aetheryte.
Well, there's a way to solve that, kind of.
Spend the night in Ul'dah?
No, I was actually thinking Limsa Lumenza. There's a ferry directly there from Vesper Bay.
True. Pay a little
And that's closer to it than, yeah, but it's closer than Ul'dah is.
Technically, yeah.
Because it's basically just one zone transition away.
Game logic. Limsa is closer to Vesper Bay than Ul'dah, which is sitting in the same zone.
Oh.
Game logic.
Area. Same area, it's not actually the same zone.
Choo-choo! Let's follow the railroad tracks!
These are the tracks, I must follow them.
Clickety-clack, you're on the right track. Clickety-clack, you're on the right track. Which is funny, because I was on an airplane.
Yes.
Zoom zoom! Or would that be work?
Work.
There's a Meanswell. She's trying to help.
She's a big help. Emphasis on big.
Work! Ooh, moon's out and pretty. So's the sky. Starting to get dark enough that you can see the stars. You can probably, every now and then you'll actually see a falling star going through, which is kind of neat.
Yes. So Aetheryte here, and this is a rest zone.
Yeah. You really don't want to be on the train tracks, even if you know they're pretty much dead tracks. And there's a lot of dead tracks around here.
Yeah.
Because every now and then, something you thought was a dead track isn't.
Yeah.
Yes, this is not a rest zone. We've got 5 minutes.
Yeah, I just don't know how much we'll be able to
And
do
lots
or
of
not
red
do.
bangs.
Yes, and one non-red.
Oh boy, do you see what I see over there?
What, the red bang?
No.
Or over here? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Vesper Bay Shopkeep.
You don't look like one of them church fellas. Not that I'll turn you away, no sir. As you can see, we've got a pile of unidentified bodies over yonder. No one's come to claim them, so off to the lich yard they go. Be thankful you didn't have to go inside and see the carnage for yourself. This is the stuff of nightmares, I tell you. Goddamn Imperials. I don't know what quarrel they had with these folks, but I sure as hell don't want to know. The sooner we put this behind us, the better. Say, ain't I seen you around here before? Or do you just have one of them faces? Never mind. Any road, there's a carriage come to haul the bodies to the lich yard, out by the east gate. There's only 8 left to load up, and seeing as I'm exhausted from carrying all the others, I have a mind to leave the remainder to you. Might want to cover your nose while you work. Some of these folk are starting to turn. Well, aren't you just dutiful?
I wonder how we can put these in our pockets. Because that's where they go.
I'm not going to.
Yeah. And of course, this was one of the old adventurers from before the Calamity.
Yep.
And this is one of the students of Baldessian. And one of the Lalafell guards. But someone has to do the work. Concerned coachman.
Disconcerted. What happened to the big fella? Forget it. Just bring the next batch and toss them in the back. Ain't like they'll complain if you're rough. Scion corpse. How you were able to fit this stiff Scion of the 7th Dawn corpse into your bag is a mystery best left unsolved.
Thank you for that, Lampshade.
Well, ain't you a strong one? 4 in one trip. Reckon there'll be no need for me to lend you a hand with the rest of them. Gee, thanks.
And there they are. I don't know how that dancing girl can keep dancing. Maybe she's downwind. One of our other guards. Yeah, having to deal with Eorzea.
Yeah.
After we spent so much time trying to gain her trust.
And gaining it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, let's finish this before I die of old age.
Well, aren't you a
Damn.
grumpy person?
Eorzea's corpse. The soul's peaceful expression belies the fact that she no longer lives. And the other 3 are the same description as before. That should be all of them. Thanks for the help. I reckon it won't take too long to deliver all the corpses to the Lich Yard. Even so, you might want to hurry back and tell them that our work here is done. Well, in that case...
I say we spend the night in Ul'dah.
Yeah. I need a drink.
I think we both need drinks after that.
Yeah. I have to say, Foxfire, we are still quite some ways away from the most heartbreaking part as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
About, what, 20 levels?
More than. But yeah.
Around 55 sounds right.
They do a really good job pulling on heartstrings, and they get more proficient with it as the game goes on.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, you heard some of my reactions going through as they during Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
I was practically screaming at the screen on a few occasions. And Kleenex. We needed more Kleenex.
Mm-hmm. It does make you wonder what the heck are they going to do to top that. They haven't even given the name for the new expansion yet, right?
Yeah. Well, part of the problem, and this is an interesting one, is by now we would have heard it because they always release it at one of their big game shows, which have all been canceled. Their usual big push would have happened by now at the North American Fan Fest, which never happened. It got canceled. So everyone's kind of, we know there's something coming, we just don't know what. The only thing we do know is that it has been officially delayed 6 months from when it would normally be released.
Yeah. Now, we are currently on 535?
We are on 535 with an estimated drop date of 5/4 in December. Now, they have announced a live letter for the 27th, which means that that's when they will drop the new 5/4 date.
Yeah.
They don't
and probably
wanna...
give it the title.
I think they have officially given it a title. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
I think they said they were still massaging the English version of the title, but yeah. Momodi, could you send 2 of the stiffest drinks available to our table? Thanks. We need it.
Maybe some what was it? Chocolate peanut butter.
Oh, the coffee chocolate peanut butter cup stout.
Yes, that's the one. 2 bottles, please.
Yeah, and we want the whole bottle. We're not splitting. We want 1 each.
Yep.
Maybe 2 each.
I think 1 will be enough.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. We will return next Saturday at 9:30 Pacific for more Heaven on High, and then more of the Bun Buns here on Sunday. You guys have a great evening. You guys have a great week.
Yeah, everyone have a great week.
Be safe, be well. Really hope to see you next week.